Welcome, everybody, to the Jive Sports podcast. I am Brandon, and I'm here with my lovely, lovely co-host, Zack. Week one of the National Football League is down. This is going to be reactions, vibe check, hot takes, giving people their flowers. In the first week of the NFL season, we had 12 one-score games. We are here to apologize profusely to Daniel Jones and his Indianapolis Colts. I'm here to give Geno Smith his flowers. Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers are the two best quarterbacks to ever do it. We were very correct with our Packers over the Lions picks, and I think Zach also has to apologize to Kevin O'Connell and his Minnesota Vikings. Strap on in. First and foremost, we're going to get it out of the way. We are indeed doing a jersey giveaway. My apologies for everybody who got in on the ground floor because it is catching up steam. Simply how you do that is you subscribe to us on YouTube, you screenshot it, and you email it to jivesportstalk@gmail.com. If you want an extra entry, you share one of our episodes on your Facebook page, shameless plug, screenshot that, and also email that to jivesportstalk@gmail.com to get a second entry, okay? We're running this through September. We'll be picking the winner on October 1st. Zach, how do you feel? Is your camera out of focus or am I going crazy?
I feel like my camera is out of focus, but I don't know what to. I don't know what to do to fix it. I feel like that happened. I feel like it happened also in the last show, but with Skylar. I think it happened.
Well, you're
But
you're built for low definition anyways. We don't need to enter you into the world of 4K. So, Zach, how are we feeling this fine morning?
could be better, but wasn't a complete disaster this weekend, I suppose. Uh,
That's putting it.
I
That's
don't
putting
know.
it lightly. That's putting it lightly, right? We let's just go. Let's just start drumming off. I know you have a lot of big feelings this morning. You have a lot of things to go over.
Well, I figured, before we get into our big NFL weekend, which is the main story, that's what we've all been waiting for. I've been kind of uh what do I want to say? I've been kind of reeled in or eating this UNC Patriots beef up. Have you heard more about this that's going on?
So yes, so let's get sidetracked immediately. So there's the UNC and the Patriots beef. I've not looked into it too deeply. I just see Vrabel, who looks older by the day, saying like, so Bill Belichick said he wasn't allowed in the building or something like that. Give me up to speed.
So I don't know all the details, but I have been getting ever since the Jordan Hudson stuff has happened and come out. I got more of these videos being suggested to me on Facebook from like radio outlets or radio stations and different podcasts and shit that it's in like Boston and the surrounding areas. And basically, there was rumors that had come out last week that Belichick had banned Patriots scouts from coming to like UNC practices and stuff, which is
Can you do that?
he can do whatever he wants. You don't have to let scouts come to your school.
Does that not seem detrimental to the players?
Absolutely, it does.
Absolutely.
But supposedly, this was a response to Belichick allegedly being told that there was uh, a staffer or intern for the Patriots that Robert Kraft had told to like not wear a UNC shirt that he had on. So we have these two, elderly,
These
geriatric old men playing the most piteous or pettiest, I don't know, middle school mean girl bitch fight I've ever heard of.
These are two grown men. These are both consummate professionals, or so I thought. This is an accredited university and a multi-billion-dollar franchise, and they're just slap. They're slap. It's a slap fight.
Yeah, bitch boy slap fight. Good, good analogy.
Who? So then, considering it looks even sillier, because I could maybe be like, okay, let's put some sauce on this if either team had won, but neither did. They're taking themselves a bit too serious. Whose team are you on here? Are you Team Vrabel or Team Belichick?
So let's assume that what we're being told is true. Well, I guess the point would be like, who was told what first? Did Belichick get told that somebody wearing a UNC shirt was told not to wear it again, and his response was, "All right, well, if they're being a bitch, then I'm gonna be a bitch too." Or
Scorched
so
earth.
let's just assume that they're both being petty. What side am I on? Um,
Is a who shot first? Is it Dak versus Jalen Carter? Is it Han Solo and Greedo? That's a Star Wars reference, by the way. Is it whoever shot first?
well, Hans shot first, but or
Han
no,
did shoot first.
what did the nerds say Greedo did?
Well, no, because so actually, this is I've not seen Star Wars yet, or still yet. I don't know. So
Yes, he has Mickey.
in the original theatrical release, in the original movie, I do believe Han shot first. However, when they went and they did like the remaster and they had all those
And he's
controversial
under the table.
changes, yeah, then they made Greedo shot first because they wanted to make Han more likable. I think it's more likable if he just shoots first, asks questions
Yeah,
later. But and
facts.
that's yeah, a lot of people, that's a controversial change
Yeah,
apparently in the remaster. So
yeah, I've heard it, and I've actually watched people try to break down those clips.
that's unfortunate. Is that how you spend your time?
Well, I don't want to do another digression, but I have to tell this because I don't know if it'll ever be brought up again because we're having this little like nerds arguing debate thing, right?
Right.
So COVID was a crazy time. We agree on that?
I think if there's one thing the actual human race can agree on as a collective, it's yes, COVID was quote unquote a crazy time.
And so I was at home for
A
I guess
while.
9 or 10 months of it. And when you're at home with all that stuff going on and all the places you want to go to are closed or whatever, you go down a lot of weird rabbit holes, am I right?
You do indeed. You do indeed.
Do
I
you
learned a
have any
lot.
Yeah, do you have any weird kind of like interests or hobbies or things that you kind of like got into during that time?
I don't think I really picked up anything. I know a lot of people did. A lot of people tried stuff. People like I feel like gardening. I did yard work, and I'm not built for yard work. I built like a pathway out front of my house, and it looked like shit, but
Hell
I did
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah,
Like
dude.
it's just like you just start trying anything. You just start throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks.
So one of those things that I did was, and this is fucking weird, but one night I was like looking at yo-yo videos and I bought $100 yo-yo and like, bearing lube for them and like and extra strings and stuff. And then I bought another yo-yo that was like $40. And my girlfriend has a funny story about that because one because she's still working or whatever. And
And you're just an unemployed guy on
well,
COVID pay playing with
I was laid
yo-yos.
off. I took a voluntary layoff.
Good for you.
Um, but so one night at like 2 in the morning, I'm like in the bedroom and I'm like trying to do this
Walk the
yo-yo
dog and do like
yo-yo
the Eiffel
trick,
Tower.
and she kind of wakes up and she can hear like the yo-yo spinning at the bottom. And it's like kind of like a funny story because here's this 30-year wait, man, that was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago already.
It feels
Holy
like six
shit!
months ago.
Well, I guess I was 29, 28. How old are we? 33. I
We're
was 29.
33.
29, and I'm just like awake at 2 a.m. doing yo-yo tricks while she's asleep.
Just
Oh,
whacking the hardwood.
but what I wanted to get into real quick was I started getting into like shipwrecks and like sailing videos and stuff.
Edmund Fitzgerald's a haunting story and song.
Right, yeah, I learned a lot about that. I learned a lot, but the big thing was there are these fucking nerds that go back and forth doing reanimations and arguing about how the Titanic sank. And they would put together like these hour and a half, 2 hour long videos of this is what happened. This is the most likely way it like broke up and whatever. And people would respond back to that and say, no, like that's not what happened. Like these nerds are fighting about how the Titanic broke in half, where it broke in half, and what people knew and when. And I went down this rabbit hole of listening to these people like go back and forth and debate the like how the ship sank, 110 years ago. And
There's a seat for every ass. My favorite, like My favorite like thing is like when there's like fringe topics like that. Like here's what happened that night, right? And it's like a 2.5 hour long YouTube video, and it says like part 1 of 4, and you're like, what are you doing, dude? There can't be that much to talk about. They just can't.
But it's just crazy, like how like in depth and serious they're taking it. Like it's offensive to them if you feel like the Titanic sank a different way. It's like getting personal. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
How'd we get
yeah.
on?
I could never subscribe to talking about menial stuff that doesn't really matter in the long term for a long time. So, anyways, let's talk about how men threw footballs around for the next hour, right?
I'm trying to think about how we got on that. Was it just because it was like a petty debate thing?
I think so. I think
All
that's how
right,
you
we'll
segued
go with
into it.
that. Anyways, that was my story about COVID.
There, not long. The real quick thing, and we're at the 11-minute mark. And once again, this is kind of just tradition. If you made it past that first stopgap, we're actually going to start talking about football now. So let's just kick off. Let's just go game by game, right? Let's go into the Chiefs and the Chargers. I think that was the last one that that was Friday night down in Brazil, your motherland. We were both, I think, correct on this. We said that. No, we weren't. I bet. No, I tried. I tried to jump on that bandwagon. I tried to jump on
Well,
that bandwagon.
well, let me just stop you and we'll just go down uh how things went. Uh Week 1 with our picks. I went 11-5. I was 11-4 going into last night. I took the Bears and Caleb, man, Caleb, I'm fucking I've almost had it with you. Brandon was 9-6, but then he took the Vikings. So week 1, I went 11-5. Brandon pulled it back close to 10-6, and I think for both of our fantastic five, we went 2-3. So that's
You
because
just focused.
wow, perfect,
We
interesting.
went what 2-3 on the 5 locks.
Yeah, we both had Rams. We both had um, so we both were wrong about Atlanta, Miami. You were wrong about KC. You got Rams and Green Bay right, and I got Chargers and Rams right. So we both went 2-3 in our five locks. But
I don't.
overall, not a terrible first week because a lot of question marks in the air,
A lot of
So
question marks, and we'll unpack them here together. That does prove that we do not claim to be smart men. We do not claim to be smart men whatsoever. And I don't want to say things like, and we'll get into it, I don't want to say things like we were wrong about the Falcons. I don't think I was wrong about the Falcons. I think they just did Falcons things. I was completely wrong on the Dolphins, which we'll get into right after the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. I did indeed pick the Chiefs. I did bet on Mahomes and Andy Reid. I'm happy with the outcome, though. I'm happy with the outcome. I really like the Chargers. I really like the Charger. I really like Harbaugh, and I love how the entire narrative heading into this was that Harbaugh is gonna pound the rock and do the run game and win in the trenches. And he trusted Justin Herbert and his arm. But what was so hilarious to me was if you watch the game, the announcer, I think it was Rich Eisen, every single time Herbert went back to throw, he's acting like it's the Notre Dame versus Michigan in 1908, and it's the first overhead pass of all time. He's like, Herbert's gonna throw again, and he completely aired it out, and he took home a dub. How do you feel about this game?
well, to give Rich Eisen a little credit, he was talking. A lot of those little calls were kind of like in non-passing situations, especially towards the end of the game when they're trying to just run the clock out. They started off with like a couple passes. Um, I will give credit to that Mason Dodd guy on Twitter that I've been kind of like joking on or whatever, because he did have a really funny tweet that said something about, I don't know how to feel about, a generation of kids in Brazil growing up thinking that Quentin Johnston is the best receiver of all time. Because where did that come from? You know what I mean?
Dude,
He actually looked like a wide receiver.
he looked great. He looked great, and I was high on him coming out. So I was really sad I had to eat some crow over the last couple of years. So I'm here for the Quentin Johnson revival.
Well, no, we're gonna temper our expectations and how we feel about things after week 1. We're not gonna be those guys that have decided the season is over already. But
I
the
know
one
exactly
thing,
how the season's going to play out off of these games.
but the one thing that stood out to me, and it's gonna be a theme of conversation, I'm sure, as time goes on. Uh, I made a little post myself that last like 20 seconds of the half. when the Chiefs get in the field goal range and they have no timeouts, and the clock's running, and they knew exactly what to do, and they got their field goal unit onto the field, and everyone knows what to do, and they get the ball snapped, and field goal's good. Not many teams are prepared like that. That is what good coaching is all about. And so I just wanted to point that out to people because I keep saying coaching matters. Not many teams would be able to get their offense off the field, get their kicking unit on. Everyone's prepared. Everyone knows what's the situation. They get on the field, they kick the field goal, and they make it. I can't remember what the score was at that point, but I think they made it like a one score game or whatever. But to have all that happen in 15 seconds with a running clock, that's pretty impressive, and that's why coaching matters.
They deserve their flowers for that. That was absolutely incredible, and I'm glad you touched on that before we move on to the Dolphins and Colts. But like, literally, like it wasn't even like I've seen teams struggle. Like we saw the Cowboys struggle to spot the ball. It took them like 15 seconds to spot the ball after that Dak scramble, a couple years ago, right? Like this, they brought out an entire kicking team and successful. It looked like a line change in hockey. It was just
Yeah,
like
wow.
boom,
What a
like
freaking analogy. Look at
you,
you.
you love that? Look at that.
That's
That's what it looked
perfect.
like. It was just like boom, right? Absolutely incredible. But still, Chargers win. I'm so glad. Look at that. We can know sports. I can know sports. Don't touch me with basketball.
But shout out, Jim Harbaugh, shout out Justin Herbert. Omarion Hampton had kind of a quiet game. But McConkey, our fucking boy Watts, man, what the hell?
What do you mean?
His little sleeper, one of his sleepers was Keenan Allen, and he led the team in fucking receptions.
God, gosh darn it!
Receptions and targets.
We can't let him on the show anymore. He's smarter than us. He's gonna make us. He's gonna make us look like idiots. We can't possibly risk that.
For people that haven't watched our amazing fantasy sleeper video, Watts, his like two sleeper picks. I don't know if he did two or three, but the first one was Nick Chubb, and we're both kind of like, Nick Chubb, and then like 24 hours later, Joe Mixon
Mixing
died.
guys.
and then
We
and
were like,
then
oh.
game two, big showcase, Friday Night Football in Brazil. Here's Keenan Allen, who did more last night than he did last year. And where did
Insane.
that come from? With on a
Watts is
team with
manifesting.
Lad McConkey, well, I guess Quentin now because he's made something happen. Trey Harris, uh, Disley is still there. Ty Conklin had a couple big catches.
Yeah,
Uh,
Omari and Hampton, like lean on him, even Najee, like good running game, and instead Keenan Allen comes
and
out.
then Keenan Allen's the man who came in the clutch and made a lot of big catches. So fuck
So shout,
Watts.
so shout out Watts. Speaking of potentially sounding stupid, let's talk about the Dolphins and the Colts. Let's talk about the Dolphins and the Colts. I
Are you
will
going in
eat.
order? I guess.
I'm going just from Google. I'm just going from Google. So let me run this because I mean all these games happen at the same time.
Okay, Mister. Same time.
So we have the Dolphins and the Colts. The Indianapolis Daniel Joneses beat the Mike McDaniel Miami Dolphins 33-8. You want to head this one off, my friend?
Listen, once again, I'm not trying to overreact or anything because
We would never.
it's one game, and the Miami Dolphins might be dog shit. Okay, I think most people kind of had them as like a middle of the pack, maybe fringe wild card, like they're on the bubble there, but they might be really bad. Okay, and
Yep.
Mike McDaniel's looks puzzled, and Tyreek Hill, his temperament, his kind of he can go off at any time. So not like on the field, but like he might want out again soon if this is going to be the result. But on a personal level, Daniel Jones, for people that don't know, uh, I was a big Daniel Jones mark, and I felt bad for him, and I felt like he got a bad shake in New York because he had three different coaches in 5 years, and part of that was Joe Judge got in there, the worst coach of all time, and I always said like because I would watch every game and watch every snap, and I'm like this fucking guy is out here, he's got no time, he's working with like the worst receiving core in football, no running back. I mean, you can say Saquon Barkley, but he got injured for, he tore his ACL one year. Another year he had, busted his knee and broken his arm. He missed a lot of time in those first couple years, but also there was just no line to speak of. It was a rotating door. Our only quality lineman, has been Andrew Thomas, who uh, had, broken foot last year. Had to get the Liz Frank surgery. I'm not going to pretend to know what any of that means, but I felt bad that the New York fans and the crowd had turned on him, and the media had turned on him, and we had all decided that he was the problem there, and that once he was out the door, that would solve everything. And the Giants looked worse, and the Colts looked amazing, right? Personally, I'm happy for Daniel Jones because I never thought he was the problem. I thought the organization failed him. Uh, I want to see him have success and do well. Like I said in another video we had, never at the expense of the Giants. If there was ever this fantasy world where it could be Colts, Giants Super Bowl, I'm still hoping the Giants stomp his ass out. But I like Daniel Jones, and I think the Colts might have, a little hidden gem that people try to pass over or pass on from, and good for them.
He did an absolutely incredible job. Colts fans should be completely over the moon with it, right? I think so he led them. He's the first quarterback in like 15 or 20 years to lead them to points on every single possession.
Seven, yeah, seven straight. All seven possessions they had some points, and they took their foot off the gas at towards the end because it was already over by like third quarter.
Yeah, 100% right. It's obviously Daniel Jones. Give him his flowers. Ran the offense really really well. Showed why he got the job over Anthony Richardson, right? And again, we're not going to overreact. I'm super happy. I like the Colts. I love the idea of the Colts. I love the Daniel Jones resurgence or whatnot. But we're not going to overreact week one. I think this is more of a testament to maybe how bad the vibes are in Miami, right?
Now that we're finding it out, yeah.
We are finding it out, and everybody, like Mike McDaniel's a quirky coach, right? And like he's a quirky coach, and that laissez-faire kind of looking like a homeless guy, the whole like weird energy, that's super endearing when you're winning, but it comes down pretty darn quick when you're not. And I don't know if you saw, but I think it's Rex Ryan, old mad puffy guy, right? He lost it. He lost it on one of his shows, and he's like, Mike McDaniel is soft. His players
Yeah.
don't respect him. The team is soft, not disciplined, slow, all this kind of stuff. And then somebody else came out. Somebody else came out, and this is why the vibes are so rancid. So the one of the Colts' cornerbacks or whatnot was like, we knew exactly what we had to do. They're like, if we take away Tua's first read, if he has to go through his progressions, we got him,
Ouch.
right? And
Ouch.
that's exactly why. So that's why when the Eagles had Brian Johnson as their offensive coordinator like 2 years ago, and we started off like a fluky like 7-1 or so, and then we played the 49ers, that exact same thing happened. They said, hey, we know exactly how to beat their offense right now, is you need to make Hurts go through his progressions. And I don't know if it's so much of an indictment as against Tua or the offensive scheme or a little both, I think, but that's tough. When they call it out like that, that's tough, you know?
How demoralizing can it be? We've heard about it in different situations over the years where you have these offenses that are struggling, and you hear afterwards that the defense was like calling out their plays on the field. Uh, if you're on the offense or you're, on the sidelines and you hear that, that sucks.
That sucks. That is just debilitating, right? And Tua did not look good. He's still making boneheaded plays. Here's one thing before we move on, because we don't want to get too caught up on one game, right? But somebody had mentioned like he threw. It was either after the game or I think it was after his first, or maybe did he have two interceptions? I think in this game, right? I think he had
Well, I
two
think he had
picks.
one pick, but he had like two fumbles.
Yeah, so it was after a turnover. It was after a turnover, and he goes to like the sideline or something, and he doesn't have like a care in the world. Like he's not reacting like how you want your
No, he
competitive
did have he
quarterback.
did have two picks and
And
two picks, one fumble.
then after the game, he went up. He went to Daniel Jones, and he's like, hey man, I'm happy for you. Like you deserve this or whatnot. But there's like no like fight there. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. The vibes are pretty bad in Miami right now. And I apologize because I do think I used the words when they were plus 106. I think I said put the 401k on it or put the house on it and Venmo me $10,000. So I apologize for everybody who did that. I got you on the next one.
So, anyways, yeah, it's gonna get ugly in Miami really quick if they don't have a bounce back game.
Right.
We move on now. That's a lot about a really kind of meaningless game.
But no, not at all, because Daniel Jones is going to lead them to the Super Bowl. Speaking of two of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, we're going to move on to the Steelers and Jets, the wife swap game. Right, so Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields swapped teams, swapped spouses this last offseason, and the vibes were kind of weird for both. I've always liked Justin Fields. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably, like, to echo Tom Brady, the best thrower of their football ever, but you can't escape father time. And I thought I think I said this was going to be like a 10-6 1930s leather helmet Big Ten football game, and it was anything but. Zach.
I got to eat a little bit of crow too because in our picks video, I said, I'm taking Steelers and because the Jets can't score, and they scored 32 points, and the Giants scored 6. But one thing I was right about is that Justin Fields did steal a couple rushing touchdowns. They ran the ball really well, 182 yards on the Steelers defense, which is tough. Garrett Wilson had a great game. Brees Hall, 100 yards, 107 yards. Actually, no, I mean, combined, he had 145 because he had 2 receptions for 38. The players that they were supposed to have do well did well. Aaron Rodgers did better because he went 22 or 30, 244, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. What can you say?
Both teams should come out of this feeling good. Both teams should come out of this feeling good. I'm higher on the Steelers than I was coming in. I'm higher on the Jets than I was coming in. I felt so bad for Justin Fields because on that last drive, it was playing on red zone. He hit some of his receivers like in the hands and in the chest, right? And they just could not bring it in. I felt really, really bad for him, but a lot to look forward to. And I was like, that's brand new sentence. New York Jets fans should be optimistic, I think, this season. And Garrett Wilson is still perennially underrated. So. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes, you agree. You love Gary Wilson.
Of the Jets players over the years that have been hyped up, he is the one that has, I think, proven it the most, and that I will give credit to. He's phenomenal.
Okay, so why was there the contention right there? He's phenomenal. He's so good.
I don't
Let's
know.
go the next Cat Bowl. But yeah, I think these are Jaguars, Panthers.
What do you have to say for yourself, young man?
What do you mean?
You took the Panthers.
I did pick the Panthers. I did
And
pick the Panthers.
how'd that work for you?
It did not work out well, but I I don't think you want this sauce right now because it's not necessarily because the Jaguars were so good. It's because the Panthers were just so bad, right? Bryce Young regressed back to what he was in the beginning of last season. Not a great performance, and the Panthers defense looked undisciplined. I watched a few highlights of it to where like the safeties were like they just forgot their assignments and they just let like the tight end like walk into the end zone and he was just sitting there waiting for it. I don't think the Jaguars or Jaguars. I always do this.
I don't want to be wrong, so I'm just gonna let you say. I'm gonna say Jags.
Oh, you're gonna say Jags as opposed to
I
Jag,
I think I've always said Jaguar.
like Jaguar
Jaguar.
as opposed to Jaguar. I got
Yeah.
yelled at for this on the on another show as well. Yeah, I don't think the Jaguars look like world beaters at all. But the Panthers just look bad. Vibes are bad in Charlottesville. Did they play in Charlottesville?
That sounds right, but I don't know.
That sounds right? The Charlottesville
Sure.
Panthers. That sounds good. Hornets. That's a team, right? For the NBA. Go on.
Not
How do you feel about your Jaguars that you think are going to win their division?
well, they ran the ball uh a lot more than I expected, but I guess they what don't fix what's not broken, and what's working, keep doing it. 200 yards, Travis Etienne. This guy,
Love love that. And so
143
actually,
yards.
so they're so optimistic, I think, with ETN's showing, and then
Yeah.
Bayshaw 2 in, right? I think they're kind of high on him. He was a fourth round pick, maybe.
He was like the fastest guy in the draft or something.
Yeah, something
So
like that. But your Jaguars
sent
did send Tank Bigsby to the Philadelphia Eagles. I love Tank Bigsby, so I'm pretty excited about that. But they ran the ball really well. ETN, I'm an ETN truther, so I'm happy for that. How do you feel about
yeah,
Trevor?
he didn't play that great. I'll be honest, I didn't watch that game
Okay.
because I'm not gonna. I don't know. When there's other things going on, I'd rather watch other things. But the other problem with that one too is there was a long delay in the
There
middle of it.
was. There was, which kind of threw off the entire game. But Jaguars took down my Panthers pick. I'm never picking the Panthers ever again this season.
Travis Hunter had 6 catches on 8 targets. My boy Brenton Strange led the team in yards. Um, it's the Carolina Panthers, so uh, even though the Jags have been kind of like my Cinderella, my sweetheart that I'm going for this year as kind of like the team that I've chosen that no one else believes in. It's the Panthers, so I'm not going to overreact. Calm down, Texans fans. We'll get to you.
We'll get
But
to you.
a very typical game um, with a result that I expected. So
And Travis Hunter did play both ways, which is exciting. Um, let's go to the Cardinals and the Saints. Let's go to the Cardinals and the Saints. Cardinals ended up edging out the Saints 20-13. I don't have too many highlights from this one. I did not watch this too much. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. maybe had a touchdown, right? And Kyler kind of did Kyler things. I would really like to get our friend Skyler back on the show soon because he took Cardinals as a playoff pick, and now there's some steam there. It's picking up. I don't think anybody's hanging any banners over beating the New Orleans Spencer Rattlers week 1, right? But how do you feel about this?
well, yeah. I mean, I would be more pessimistic that they didn't beat them. Worse a 20-13 game, and they kind of had a chance there to tie it at the end, I believe. But Spencer Rattler didn't have any turnovers that I can see. I wasn't watching this game. 27-46. They didn't get a lot of chance to run the ball. Kamara ran
Oh,
it 11 times for 45 yards, and their leading receiver was Jawan Johnson. Chris Olave played and didn't take any big hits. Good for him.
he does
Uh,
always. He always gets
he
it's
gets
insane every single
wrecked.
time. Yeah, I know, like a car crash every
And a
single
lot
time.
and a lot of that's bad quarterback play. They call those, hospital passes or whatever. Um, Rashid Shaheed came back from his ACL injury. They got some weapons there. There's some speed. There's some Brandon Cooks is there. They got the Devon, was it Vel or Veli? He's a big guy on a.
Yeah,
He's like 6'4". He's a
is
big
he that
target.
big?
He's big, and he's not. He's in a contract year, which is why I thought it was weird that the Saints gave up like 2 kind of middle round picks to grab him,
Yeah,
considering their salary cap is disgusting to look at.
that's an
Um,
off season discussion, but yes, it's absolutely terrible, and it
but
keeps getting worse.
and for them to give up like 2 kind of picks, you would think that they would cherish each pick and try to be accumulating them because they need rookies and they need to get off some of these bad contracts. A
Hmm.
very, I guess, boring game. I'm saying that as somebody who didn't watch it, but 20-13 Cardinals Saints. I have a feeling that this was kind of one of the lower rated games of the weekend.
We're losing everybody in the Phoenix and New Orleans area right now. That's fine. Let's go to one that I don't know if you will have any strong opinions about it, but the East Rutherford Football Giants happen to fall to the Washington football team, which is still the go-to name in all of sports, and I hope they come back to it one day. 21-6, Commanders beat the Giants. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna comfortably hand this over to you, Zach. How do you feel?
I picked Washington to win the game in our picks. So let me just real quickly during our pick episodes when it matters, you're gonna get the truth from me on how I feel about teams because I'm gonna give you who I want to win, or not who I want to win, who I expect to win, because that matters between Brandon and I, and also it matters if you're trying to prove to other people that you know football or whatever that you should listen to us talk football. Being right is important, Because if we lose every time we tell you that somebody's gonna win,
So
then
you're saying the pick episode is when they should actually listen to you, and this is when you're just in your emotions, and this is more
well,
reactive, right?
well, I've been using TikTok kind of as like my wrestling
Froze.
promo place where like I put my fan hat on and I'm just like talking shit. You're frozen. Are you there?
I did. I am here. I am here.
Okay. So like on TikTok, I had posted the video of uh cutting a promo on Oklahoma. Okay. And I said, the Wolverines are basically going to go down there and take your lunch money and beat your ass, and whatever. I did expect Michigan to win. I'm not going to lie, but I never in my wildest dreams would think it would be easy to uh, go on the road to play an
We're back,
opponent
baby.
to go on the road with an opponent you don't normally play. Because I mean, how many times in the last 20 years, 30 years have Michigan and Oklahoma played? Maybe once, maybe twice. I don't know. So when you have an opponent that you don't play often and you're going on the road to play them, I would expect that to be a closer game. But on when I'm putting my fan cap on, Michigan's going to beat their ass and it's going to be easy, blah blah blah. So I also had on TikTok, a video of me basically saying um, Washington's frauds and the Giants are gonna move all over, blah blah blah. And I'm getting those comments. Oh, you're ouch. You're wrong about everything. And it's like they don't know about the YouTube channel. But listen,
Right.
I I'm a wrestling fan, and sometimes I'm playing a heel role. But here on the
You are a
show,
great heel.
yeah, here on the show, when I'm doing my picks, that's when you should listen to what I'm saying, and that's when I'm telling the truth about how I really feel. Uh, the Giants look terrible. I expected a lot more. I did not expect to win, but I would like to see some fucking points, some progression. And
At least make it exciting, right?
the thing that's killing me most about them is there's no identity, there's no scheme. We'll talk about that too with the Lions. Um, it almost their offense looks like it's a guy that's just picking random plays. Oh, this one looks good. This one looks good. And the point in the game that just fucking killed me is the Giants get the ball first and goal from the 2, and you have at that point I think they were also down I think it was like 13-3 at that point,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody has high expectations for you anyways, so why don't you just make that 4 down territory. And any rational human being, I think, when you're in that position where you don't have the skills or the cachet to be cute, just fucking sneak the ball 4 times to get 2 yards. Okay.
Do it.
Do you know what they did? First play was some cute little trick play trying to do a Ben Johnson or whatever, pass to an eligible lineman. So you wasted it down there. I think the second play was another pass play, and then they tried running it on third and got stuffed. And then they kicked a field goal. The greatest game of the weekend, Ravens Bills. Bills were in a similar situation, and they do have the skills and the cachet to be cute when they want to. You know what they did? First and goal from the 2, snuck it, handed it off, and then snuck it again for the touchdown. Very simple. So when I saw that, and I'm saying you guys aren't scoring points, and you have an opportunity here to score an easy touchdown, fucking sneak it 4 times and score. Okay, you're probably still gonna lose, but it doesn't look so bad because you got at least one touchdown.
At least one touchdown. When do we coaching matters, right?
Fucking kills me. Kafka
When
Dable, you're on the fucking hot seat, bud. I'm fed up. I've been backing these guys, Shane and Dable, because the first year they. Here's the other thing. Year 1 of Dable, week 1, game 1, we're playing the Titans, and they go for 2 at the end of the game to win it or lose it. I think it was like uh, 2021, or maybe it was 1920. He goes for it, and that kind of ushered in the Dable era. Hell yeah, we got a guy who is gonna fucking take chances and do shit, because we had just got off Joe Judge, who I keep mentioning as the worst human being that's ever lived, and it was refreshing. And now we're back to playing the most conservative, stupid ass shit. I can't handle it. My blood pressure is rising.
I wanted to, before we move on to the next game, this is a great time to redirect, especially for the audio listeners, but my good friend Zack, right behind him, it's the funniest thing. He has a whiteboard, and it says Zack is bad, and it is his mistake board, and he updates it when he says things such as more harder, and he was wrong with the Jordan Addison suspension or whatnot, and right now, Zack, what do you have on that? You drew it up this morning, that the just Giants and Dable.
I'm just bad.
Just
I'm with certain people. I'm losing my patience, and Caleb Williams is one of them. Um, and Dable and Shane got to be at the top of that list. But real quickly for Giants fans, if you're on Facebook, I'll see Giants groups and stuff, and like, I hate it. Makes me hate Giants fans. I'm sure every fan base has that though, because for whatever reason, like the shit always rises to the top, and people are already talking about bench Russell Wilson and bringing Jackson Dart in. Why the fuck would you want to do that?
you have to wait till week 4 or 5 because you guys have a gauntlet coming up.
But the way that offensive line looks, I would not play him at all. Why do you want to kill his confidence and end his career now? It makes no
Don't
fucking
call for Dart.
sense.
Just play out the Russell Wilson
If
thing,
you are
right?
a Dart person right now or wanting Dart, fucking, we're not on the same team. You are a fucking idiot. Anyways, yeah. So Washington looked great. Well, not great, but they looked good. I think the Giants' defense is really good. They kept them in that game because it was a like a 3-13, 6-13 game for a while, and ended up 21-6. Daniels was obviously efficient. We were shitting on Debo in the offseason. He had a big game, 7
Yeah, he did
receptions,
actually.
77 yards. Bobby Wagner, 10 tackles. No surprise there. And it's just a very typical Giants game from the last 12 years or so. Not much to be happy about.
On to the next. Buccaneers Falcons. Sneaky fun game. Good colors. Good
Well, real
colors.
quick,
Good.
what do you think about that game as an outsider looking in?
Um, I'm disappointed with the Giants. Mostly because I thought I said that I really liked their defensive line. I think their defense was going to be a strong suit. I'm not saying the Commanders absolutely like carved them up, but I was disappointed in that. I wanted a bit more fight. I said don't be surprised if the Giants win with this one, right? And they were just toothless. They were just toothless, and I don't know the right answer. Like you said, like I don't think Russell Wilson is the answer. Like Malik Neighbors still is like making like highlight plays. Like he's like the NFC East like Jordan. I almost just said the NFC East George Pickens, but George Pickens is in the NFC East now, right? But like I go through Neighbors highlights, and I'm like, this man just needs a quarterback to get him the ball. But it's like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like I'm of the sound mind that you don't throw rookie quarterbacks out there with a bad offensive line and bad scheme, especially against the next 3 or 4 opponents. I think it's a gauntlet for the Giants, which we'll get into once we start talking.
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad, right? I just don't know where you go from here, and it's frustrating, and I sense your frustration.
That's why, in my mind, Russell Wilson was a contingency plan because they didn't know if they would be able to trade for Dart. There was conversations there, but if you watch like the behind the scenes draft shit, they weren't exactly sure. But even so, I would be playing Jameis Winston because
At least
he'll
have fun. We talked about that.
he'll definitely air it out, and I think at this point he's a better passer, including the interceptions. I don't give a fuck. I want to see something.
I still, by the way, like before we move on, I still though seeing Russell Wilson, like just the arc on the moon ball is crazy. He took a few deep shots and it just goes so far up, man. It's crazy. Nothing quite. I don't think it worked out at any time.
No,
But
a couple of those shots were behind neighbors and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm over. I'm over the moon ball. What's next,
Buck
bud?
Buccaneers Falcons. All time good color game, good jersey game, good little divisional. I'm really disappointed. The Falcons had a chance to win it, and then actually to tie it up to go into overtime, and they did Falcons things, and Young Wei Koo hit it hard right. I feel really bad for Michael Penix. I feel really bad for the Falcons because they did everything right in order to win this game, and I know you hate the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. it was a good game, and I still have high hopes for the Falcons and Michael Penix and everything else. But I'll let you go.
Well, I mean, I mean, you chose the Bucks to make the playoffs, so
Hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, Atlanta led for a lot of this game, I think, because I was paying attention to it because it
There
was
was
one
a
of
Kyle
these.
Pitts sighting. There was a Kyle Pitts sighting.
Yes, there was. I mean, Penix almost 300 yards, no turnovers. Uh, the running game was suspect. Uh, Algier and Robinson ran it combined 22 times for 48 yards, but Robinson made up for it with 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. Um, I keep shitting on Baker. I gotta give him his flowers because he has been playing phenomenal football the last couple years, and he continued it here because when they needed something big at the end of the game to take the lead, him and Egbuka connect for the second touchdown of the day, and it's a beautiful fucking pass.
Gorgeous.
Just it's a beautiful ball, and um, I'll give him his flowers for now. I thought that he would fall apart without Cohen being there. Um, a lot of people didn't expect Egbuka to be in the rotation so much. He had 6 targets, 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. I knew Agbuka. I wanted everything to get him in our dynasty league.
I
He's
also
so
wanted to
good.
draft him, but I was also being convinced by everybody else that he's kind of like a guy you stash away. But we're finding out now he is not. Okay, he's the real deal. Ohio State keeps putting out these amazing receivers,
Receiver factory.
um, and so Buccaneers win 23-20. Baker 3 touchdowns, no picks. They had a fairly efficient game. And when the Falcons needed a defensive stop, they couldn't get it. And when they needed a kick, they missed. So that's tough. You make it, you go to OT, you don't know what happens, but a loss is a loss. And
On
Buccaneers
to the next.
are 1-0 in the division.
Also, Drake London, another underrated receiver. Put him with Garrett Wilson. Drake London he's really really good. Um, let's go to
We
potential.
got to keep an eye on him, though, because he had like a shoulder thing.
Yeah, I think he did too. A lot of sneaky injuries. There's a game coming up here that we'll talk about in a second where a lot of sneaky injuries. Upset watch was right here. And for the chaos, I've almost would have wanted it to go this way, but also I don't like the team that would have won had it gone this way. But Bengals Browns. Bengals hang on to survive the Joe Flacco Cleveland Browns. I actually did not watch too much of this game. I know Jamar Chase was kind of had a quiet game.
Oh, it
Um,
was awful.
was it awful?
Well, Joe Burrow went 14 of 23 for 113 yards.
That like in the first half or the second half?
That's the game.
That's insane.
Chase Brown had 21 carries for 43 yards.
21 carries.
Two yard average. T. Higgins led in yards. Noah Fant led in receptions, and he got the one only pass touchdown. Very ugly
Whoa.
game, and obviously there was some highlight reel hits on Joe Burrow by Myles Garrett, and the Browns' defense has been a,
It keeps
a,
them in,
a
man.
they've been a monster the last couple years, and I said that in our picks. I said I'm picking Bengals, but only because the quarterback is Joe Flacco. Even though I'm a Flacco fan, I call him the Flack Show.
I
Um,
hate that.
that's okay, but I mean, shit. I mean, Bengals looked rough.
They're not like everybody said that their offense is going to be like they said defense is going to suck and they're going to have to score 35 38 points every game and they're going to do so and they struggle to do so. So we're not sounding the alarms yet. We don't overreact in week 1, but it was an interesting outcome. Even it's like 300 in Leonidas, like even with Xerxes, like even gods can bleed. Joe Burrow did not like that stat line. I
Well,
honestly
he
did not
was he
believe
was
it when he
getting
threw it out.
eaten up all game. That offensive line did not help him at all.
It
So
never does.
not only did they not really do a whole lot to help their defense out, aside from pissing off their best player and pissing off their first round rookie, um, but their offensive line that was, I guess, kind of, I don't know where they would rank if you looked at like Pro Football Focus, but might be one of the worst in the league, and they did nothing to help that out. I don't understand owners like Mike Brown, who owns the Brown family that owns the Bengals, why they are so cheap. I don't get
I
it.
know.
Um, you're, you know, base. I think his net worth is like 800 million, so he's poor in
He's
in
one of the poorest
in,
owners, which is
in
crazy.
NFL, ownership terms. But at the same time, if you own an NFL team, it's it's the right to print money. You can't lose money. Um, and every year the salary cap is going up, more TV deals are getting made. You have a fantastic top three quarterback in the league with two great receivers. People want to watch your team. Those Bengals fans. We got to get Jake on the show because I'm sure he's going through it a little bit. Even if you're winning, sometimes those wins can feel like losses.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. I don't get being cheap. So figure it out or sell your
Figure it
team to
out.
me.
We're getting there, right? Let's go into Raiders Patriots. The only thing I have to say about this is Geno Smith, I wasn't familiar with your game. Almost 300, I think he had 358 passing yards. The Raiders beat the Patriots 20-13. I don't think it's quite time to hang the banner in Las Vegas. I also don't think it's time to panic. And what city did the Patriots play out of? I always forget. I don't think it's time for the Patriots fans to panic. I wanted to see a bit more out of like
Foxborough,
Foxborough. Yeah, Foxborough. I should have known that, right? But the Raiders,
Gillette Stadium.
they went in, they handled business. Geno Smith looked good, and also I think he really attacked the outside. I think I saw a passing chart, and he really did not pass over the middle too much. Like he went for it outside of the hashes. So, how do you feel about this game?
Well, unfortunately, I took the Patriots in this game, and I thought it would be close, and I was just like, they're the home team. Um, they got some key off-season additions and draft picks that I thought would be difference makers. But
How'd your
I've
boy
also
do?
Trey, uh, 5 carries, 27 yards, and then he had 6 receptions, 24 yards. Kind of a unproductive day. I mean, 11 touches. Your boy Skyler. Hey, Skyler. He texted me at like end of the first quarter, and it was like he was like, "I told you guys, Trey wouldn't be getting a lot of the touches early on in the season or whatever." And that was because at that time Ramondre had like 5 carries, and it was like
You're right.
5 carries to one. And I said, let's calm down. We're
Split.
about 15 minutes into the game, and then of course Trey has 11 touches to Ramondre's 9.
Yeah,
But
so still split.
so yeah, I was gonna say I've been a fan of Geno Smith ever since he kind of resurrected his career in Seattle. We've talked about his great quotes that I didn't write back, and then before this year, we didn't come here to roll the dice. We came here to run the table. He is not playing around.
Quote
Um,
machine.
and the Raiders are one of those teams. I think I don't know about you, but for me personally, growing up, you want to like them, but they were never good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, because awesome team name, awesome logo.
Oakland
Um,
was fire.
I got to see that the Allegiant Stadium in Vegas 2 years ago when I was in Vegas. It's a sleek looking, nice fucking stadium or arena or whatever. But they did their job, 20-13 on the road against a team that a lot of people are high on, so they have something to be excited about.
Good
Geno
week one.
Geno Smith's one of my fantasy QBs, and he got me I think 21 points or something like that. So
We take it all day.
overall, not bad.
They
You
live
see,
to fight it.
but you see progress on both sides. You like seeing the team get better because last year the Patriots were a shit show. Um, Raiders have been on the come up. They're getting a little bit better each year, and but you're seeing the fruits of those what seeds being sowed.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing things get better, which is as a Giants fan I'm not seeing.
Encouraging for both teams and fan bases at large. Let's go into the 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. This is another one that I did not watch too much of. The only thing I do know is that there's two injuries that came out of this game, right? George Kittle with a hamstring injury. I think he left. He left right after halftime, maybe somewhere in the third quarter. But hamstring injury, supposed to be out 3 to 5 weeks, and his potential for injured reserve. And then Brock Purdy, he played through the entire game, but he has a toe injury, and I think maybe like an elbow or shoulder bang up as well. But the 49ers managed to stick it out. Christian McCaffrey somehow did not die, and I do believe Ricky Pearsall maybe led the team in receptions. We should put CMC and his ankles down on our bad board, but.
I may have messed up.
You messed up?
For some reason, I thought the Seahawks won. So actually, our records might be different. I'll have to look at that afterwards. You might be 11-5, and I might be 10-6.
Stop the steal. Stop the count. Yeah, dude, the Seahawks lost. Sam Darnold was out there seeing ghosts, but your boy JSN led the team.
What am I thinking about? Anyways, so I'm fucked up a little. Maybe I'm like, I don't got to worry about Dick Hammer's grandson. He's got me covered. So I'll wake up. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
We know that. So the 49ers decided to they're banged up. They're banged up. They went in. They did handle business. They're going to want to get Brandon Ayuk back soon. George Kittle being out 3 to 5 weeks, that hurts in all aspects. He's one of the best tight ends in the game, especially when it comes to an underrated part that people don't talk about, that you don't see on a stat line, but when it comes to run blocking, right? Which is kind of a big part.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, which is a big part of Shanahan's offense. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play that out. But how do you feel?
So I heard about the hamstring deal, and they might say 3 to 5 weeks, but that injury, more than any other injury, always seems to linger even longer than that, because it can be tweaked again real quickly. We're not the medical podcast, but just watching football for 25 years, the hamstring, because I mean, so many times I've seen players, okay, he'll be out 2 to 4 weeks, whatever, and they get back, but then it's like during like the pregame warmups, something happens, because it might be the first time they're going full speed in a while, and immediately kind of re-injure it, tweak it, and it fucks with them all year.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of, because again, then we'll keep moving on, and we're not an injury podcast. But the thing that I can think of is hamstring injuries do linger. I worry about the Eagles long term, because AJ Brown popped up with that, and obviously he was he was exactly a non-factor in the game, right? But I think about a former Panther and now a 49er, Christian McCaffrey. There was that year with the Panthers to where had a hamstring injury, and he was day by day and week by week, and I don't think he took another snap. But I don't think he took another offensive snap, but he was constantly week by week, day by day with a hamstring injury, and people downplay it. It's like, okay, yeah, hamstring injury. Like, no, like it lingers and it can hurt, you know?
But I mean, looking at these stats, because I was watching this game part of the time. Darnold 16 for 23. He only got sacked one time, no picks, no touchdowns. But their problem, I guess, is fumbling, because I do know about I've seen the Jackson Smith and Njigba fumble, but Darnold fumbled also. So that's basically the difference maker in the game.
Back to football.
Well,
Let's go to.
Also, I guess Purdy threw 2 picks, but shout out Doug, who tells me that handcuffs don't matter, and I guess he's gonna be without a tight end, and I have I have Mac Jones. So let's talk.
Let's talk. Shoot your trade offers out. Titans Broncos. The Bo Nix regression game, right? A few people were worried about Bo Nix because he did not break out like people were expecting, and Cam Ward. I did not watch this game, but from all the hubbub, people said Cam Ward looked decent, but it looked like the Titans leaned a lot on the running game, and I think you have the stat line up, and you can try and correct me in this. But the Broncos beat the Titans 20-12. I think we both picked the Broncos, but
yes.
Still, Cam Ward, the Titans' new look offense did not come out and light the world on fire, and neither did the Broncos, But what do you have to say?
Broncos had a fumbling issue too. Knicks and Mims fumbled once. The running they ran for 151 yards on 30 carries, but 50 of that came from one run by my boy RJ Harvey. 29 for 100 is about middle of the pack, or maybe a little bit underneath that. Bo Nix kind of looked like a rookie. Cam Ward did not play the best, but he got sacked 6 times. We knew the Broncos defense was going to be a problem. That
Yeah.
this is like the worst possible situation for a rookie to have week one.
6?
He got sacked 6 times.
Holy.
His QBR was 7.3 because he was 12 of 28 for 112 yards, no picks.
Oh, wow.
Pollard ran 18 for 60 and also caught the longest pass of the game, one reception for 29. Calvin Ridley led the team in targets and receptions, 4 receptions on 8 targets. Very ugly game for the Titans offensively, but we expect that.
Yeah.
We did not expect that. But here's the thing:
We're
I
not
was actually
panicking.
I was looking at some stats the other day, and the defense was sneaky good last year. They were like a top 5 defense last year,
Yeah.
but nobody really paid attention to that because they were bad, and the offense was kind of a joke. And there's my boy Will Levis doing these
Billie Jean, yeah.
meme shits, but I think they were like a top 5 yards per game defense and a points per game defense. Um, so the Broncos offense, I mean, that was, I guess, a defensive battle. We might see the Titans uh, compete a little bit once Cam Ward's got some reps in and real game time. Um, I expect both teams to look better. I came out of this, as ugly as the stats are, liking them a little bit more.
I like that.
What do you?
Well, I don't have I hate to see that stat line. I hate to see that stat line from Cam Ward, but Broncos defense is an absolute buzzsaw to go into for your first game, right? And it also sounds like they just need to work on protecting the football a little bit. But he came out of it alive. I do know that Calvin Ridley had a bad drop or two. Some people were talking about that, so I don't know if that would have changed the outcome of the game or the stat line or whatnot. But it happened. It played out exactly how we thought it would. You know. Um, and then let's quickly touch on the Rams and Texans game. I know you have some opinions about Rams and Texans.
Well, obviously, our best performing kind of long form video is the video where you titled it "Fade the Texans, King Cam," and
Yeah,
I obviously had to mix it up with I don't know, 7 or 8 different Texans fans who told me I don't know anything and I'm stupid and I wasn't paying attention and I'm a Jags fan and blah blah blah. It's one game, but this offense that you guys were so hyped up about, they didn't score a touchdown. And that's interesting to me because it's kind of like I told you guys that the offense would be a problem because the defense held the Rams to 14 points. They did their job. The offense didn't do their job. And CJ Stroud, 19 to 27, no touchdowns, up one interception. Nico Collins, pretty quiet. Make of that what you will.
I'm torn up about that. I'm torn up about that.
Um, and I took the Rams minus 2.5, and I felt confident about that. I mean, obviously the score is a 5-point game, so it's not like the Texans didn't have a chance. But I feared that the Texans' offense would be their problem, and so far, after 1 week, that's kind of what it looks like, doesn't it?
It does indeed. We don't overreact week one. We don't overreact week one. However, where there's smoke, there's fire, and I might be on your. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried for the Texans offense. I'm kind of worried for that offensive line. I'm kind of worried that I still have like rose colored glasses with CJ Stroud's breakout campaign. I'm starting to worry. I'm actually starting to worry, and I'm starting to think that you might be onto something. I'm starting to think that you
Well,
might be onto something.
I will say one thing: they ran the ball pretty well, 27 for 114. I didn't think that I thought the running game wasn't going to be so. The running game was better than the passing game,
Yeah,
um, relatively
which is great.
speaking. So for whatever reason, they were able to run the ball, but that could be, um, it could be that when the Rams got up, they were expecting a pass, so they kind of played back a little bit because in a 5-point game, a field goal can't doesn't win you the game. So it's that bend but don't break defense. You can let them get in field goal range. You can't let them score. So maybe you're running the ball because it's easier to do in a lot of draw plays. I wasn't watching,
The Texans might be in trouble. The
but I
Texans might be in trouble.
I, I was I was flipping around. I was watching different stuff, but usually I usually like to stick on the game that I'm enjoying the most. One that there's two teams that I like watching play.
Do you not watch Red Zone?
No,
Red Zone's electric. It's perfect for this kind of stuff. It's perfect for all these like games where you don't have a horse in the race.
yeah, I mean, but anyways, the whole point of the story is Texans offense looked suspect.
Anemic, so to say, right? So, what we're going to do here, and you're going to hate this, is we're going to save. There's three other games, and I know they're looming, right? But we have big, strong opinions about them and for them, and that's going to be the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers, the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, and the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. And we want to do them a service and give them the proper time. So we're going to actually end up wrapping up this episode, and we're going to be back probably tonight, and we might just have a bust-out Lions, Packers, Ravens, Bills, Viking, Bear breakdown. How do you feel about that, Zach?
That's cool. We also might have a date tonight, you and I,
We have a date?
possibly with our buddies at Valley Sports.
That would be exciting. So there's a lot of good guys out there that talk football, and they're way smarter than us. And where Valley Sports Pod has been great. We've been hanging out with them you've been hanging out with them like on TikTok and whatnot. So we might have a little
They
collab.
they just sent me, or they just let me join their little group chat.
Holy cow! Good for you. You
So
shot your shot. Look
we're
at you
kind of
networking.
talking, you know.
You're kind of talking. It's kind of exciting.
But
Kind of learning niceties.
real quickly, I mean, football weekend is usually a big weekend for like food and stuff. What did you have this weekend? Anything good?
What did I have this weekend? Not like no. I had a lot of people over and I just made tacos. I really just phoned it in. I just made shredded chicken and
You got a
ground.
lot of people over. Did you invite me?
I did not invite you. It was kind of my family invited themselves over, and then I have some neighbors that decided they
Oh, okay,
swung
that's
over
fair.
for. It wasn't like people outside of my immediate family and the neighbors weren't involved. It was not an extended kind of party. Okay, you're on the short list of people I would invite over.
So,
So
like chicken tacos and stuff like that. Pretty cool.
yeah. Just vanilla white people stuff. Yeah. What about
At,
you?
so- at, so- at some point, we're gonna have to get into like a really deep pizza conversation. But I kind of had like this really terrible experience. I actually am a fan of like Hawaiian pizza. Do you like Hawaiian pizza?
I love Hawaiian pizza.
So this might hurt your heart a little bit, but I had got this really nice frozen Hawaiian pizza, right? And
Like California Kitchen or like a brand like that?
I won't name the brand.
But you don't. Okay.
Um, and like when you're getting ready to eat pizza, you're a little excited and whatever. And I put it in the oven. I'm waiting for this thing. And I set my timer and I go and check on it, and I burnt it. Those feels burning the pizza.
Yeah, like burn. Yeah. Like sometimes, like you put in a little bit too much. A
Man,
convection. I have a convection oven, and it tends to brown the edges faster than I think.
right? Yeah, but I did learn one thing to help me next time, and that is maybe I should have cooked it at aloha temperature.
Shut the fuck. Shut the fuck. Put it on the good board.
At aloha temperature.
Yes, we heard you, my friend. This is Brandon and Zach signing off. Next episode coming up is going to be the Lions and Packers, Ravens, Bills, Viking, Bears, and then week 2 picks. Signing off.